In the previous video, I talked about an iterative solution to figuring out whether a string had balanced parentheses. Now what I want to do is I want to keep the same kind of iterative solution, but I want to rewrite it in recursive form. So here's the trick. I'll write a function that's extremely similar. It's going to be called isBalancedRecursive, and I want to have my counter. So I'll include it as a parameter as well with a default value of 0. And what I want to do is I want to use essentially the same algorithm, except I want to avoid using loops. So here's how I'm going to accomplish it. Let's first take care of the base cases, which are easy. So I'll just say that if the length of s is 0, then I just return counter equals to 0. That's straightforward. You know, if the string is empty, I just make sure that the counter is 0 and all is good. Now I want to say that if the counter at any point becomes negative, then I know that I ought to return false. Just like here I said that if the counter becomes negative at any point, I got to return false. So now I want the recursive step. So here's the idea for the recursive step. I'll decompose the string into s0 and the rest of the string, like that. And what I want to say that if s at 0 is equal to the opening parenthesis, well, that means that I got to increment counter, right? So let me just do that, and then I'll use the counter when I call isBalancedRecursive. And I'll say if s at 0 is the closing parenthesis, then let me decrease counter by 1. All right. And now what I want to do is I want to just keep processing the string s. So I processed as far as s at 0, and what I want to do now is I just want to continue processing it by analyzing the rest of the string and incrementing the counter according to what happens in the rest of the string. So that's exactly what I'll do. I'll just return isBalanced as the rest of the string and counter, which I modified according to s at 0. So this is really exactly the same algorithm as before. What we're doing is we're making sure that we return false if counter becomes smaller than 0 at any point, and then we go through the string, we modify the counter according to the current character of the string, then we make the string shorter by 1, and we just keep processing it. It's the same algorithm.